you guys all look phenomenal, just like in the film. So we need to talk a little bit about style. Like, Maleficent, she's like beat for the gods. You've got a natural look, and then you're like dripping in ice the whole time. How do you think your characters' looks reflect their actual being as the character?
Well, with Maleficent, we tried to base a lot of her clothes on things you'd find in nature. So she has wear bones, and she doesn't use diamonds and metal and things like that. She's quite, and so I think that reflects her. I think she wears clothes often to intimidate. I think her choice to go to dinner to meet the in-laws covered in skulls was a particular choice.
Mm-hmm. I was really into that scene, by the way. I loved that.
I know, it's definitely an extension of our characters, our outfits. Aurora is of the woods, so kind of flowy. But then she changes in the film and becomes a little more Ingrid, corseted.
I was all about diamonds and metal,
and
pearls.
It suits you.
And pearls. And I do think that there was this sense of creating armor, and she's always ready for battle. And it was this. I think they're brilliantly designed, but of sort of armor mixed, very kind of modern with cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Definitely reflects her overall being.
Insides.
And drape, just wearing your wealth.
Yeah, for sure. Showing her stature.
I remember the story of a baby cursed to sleep and never wake up.
Really? Who would do such a terrible thing to an innocent child?
Well, there are many who prey on the innocent. I'm sure your kind would agree.
What do you mean, my kind?
She means humans.
There is that scene that we just talked about when Maleficent goes to meet the in-laws, and your character Aurora asks her to cover her horns.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me so much about how, people of color sometimes they try to assimilate or are told to cover their hair, style your hair a certain way. Has there ever been a time where you guys felt like you had to almost cover a part of you or deny a part of you to either get a role or just fit into a room?
I think the truth is we've never probably experienced to
the extent
comparable to what other people have had to experience. Yeah. And so I think it's I think in this film where there is we intended to try to tell the story of what it's like, less about our own personal, but just we know that, and we know that so many people go through that, and really in some way, on every level, but certainly some people, what is imposed upon them and how they're treated and mistreated is so horrible, and that they feel they have no other way except to hide themselves. So there's a part of this film that is, in a fun way for children, saying, be yourself. Mm-hmm. Because when you try to be anything different, when you try to cover your horns, when you try to be something different than you are, when you try to go against your true nature, it's going to suffocate you inside, and it's not what you're born to be. So whether the world can handle it or not, it's not your problem. Be yourself.
Yeah, love that. Thank you guys so much for your time. It was great to meet all of you.